Live streaming is on.
Greetings and welcome to Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter, and I'll be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for watching Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts. If you are watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunt Hangar Forum member to find the link to attend the after party. Here at Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunt Hangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. Now, if you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/S as in sunset, M as in Mary, F as in foxtrot. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address, or Sparky, the proprietor of Stunt Hangar, will not approve you. Okay. Now, if you enjoy these YouTube live streams, I'd like you to give us a thumbs up and subscribe and share the videos. That helps the channel grow. Okay. And also, and if you're not a member of Stunt Hangar Forum, you can register, like I said earlier. But also, I want to remind you that in the chat box on the YouTube show, if you put your comments there or questions there, I will do my best to make your comments or questions a part of the show. And that's a real important part of the show. So please do that. But you have to be a registered YouTube subscriber in order to be able to participate in the chat. So make sure you do that. And then also, if you find the Stunt Hangar videos very informative and enjoyable, please consider joining our YouTube memberships as well. And we have a membership which starts at $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. And your support helps offset some of the expenses of running Stunt Hangar. And with your memberships, you'll get special badges I can see in the YouTube chat, and you'll get unlimited replay of member-only videos. And once a month, Sparky has a question and answer period for just members only. Now, you can use the super chat, which is located in the chat box, to make donations as well if you don't want to do a monthly subscription. But you have to be in a live show. So if you make a note, I do this every Monday and Friday at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you make sure you come in then, and then you can make your comment or question there, okay? And I want to ask you to keep the conversations family room friendly. In other words, don't use words or do things you wouldn't do around your children and grandchildren. And I think I covered all my bases. So without any further ado, I'm going to post the link at the stunthangar.com forum. Let me do that now. Let's see if I can find that link. Where did it go? Do I have to do that again? I might have to do that again. Let's see here. Hang on a second. Another time of, here we go. All right. So the link is posted. So we can get this thing started. We have Denny up front. Denny, welcome to the show, Denny.
Hey, thanks.
Thank you for coming in. I appreciate that. You're the first one in.
Well, hey, what can I say? First, got to be first sometime.
Yes.
Thank you for being here. You mentioned Friday that you had some other big important things happening today. I wasn't sure we'd get to see you tonight or not. So
yeah. I talked to my wife, and we went and celebrated our 24th wedding anniversary yesterday.
Terrific.
So yeah, it was a fun day. We went to dinner and went to a movie, and after that, we went and had some cocktails, and had a really, really complete fun day. Left my 17-year-old and my 15 and 14-year-old home for the first time. Left them to their own devices. Yeah, it was kind of scary for us to do that. I was mostly concerned about the younger one and the middle one arguing. They just have a contention that seems to be ongoing.
Well, that's it. They'll figure it out. So
yeah, I sure hope so, because it's tough. Let me see. John Miller is going to come in next. All right. And we have Dennis Adamison. He said, I liked Stunt Hangar Hangout. Thank you. And Tom Rammel, he liked. So thank you. So I have 2 likes from you guys. But we have a total of 5 concurrent viewers and 5 likes. And so we're off to a good start. And hey, John.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
Swatting flies. I left the door open all day.
Well, you can work on your reflexes.
I need that.
That might help you with the intersection of the figure 8. You know how it's so quick, right? You got to do that transition real quick. So
yeah, you got it's like putting 2 nickels together, edge to edge.
Right, and it's just really quick. So just like that, right?
Just touch it and go. Yeah. Isn't that right, Dennis?
Well, that's it. I've tried smacking my hands on the figure 8. It did not end well. I've come around saying, no. It was not the right thing to do. So.
Hey, Mark, how's it going?
Hi, Mark.
Hey, guys. I got hat head.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
I got both head.
Who else had hat hair? One evening we had someone with hat hair also. Oh, it was Pat. I mean, it was Phil Bailey.
Phil.
I'd asked him if he had cut his hair or something. What'd you do? And he goes, no, it's just hat hair.
That's
right. I don't know what that's like. It's been such a long time since I've had hat hair.
You have a hat imprint.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I get. The hat imprint. Perfect. That is spot on, Mark. Let me see. I'm going to move around my tabs here.
Yeah, all I know is that I use SPF 50 as hair tonic now. Yeah.
Oh,
does it work?
Yeah, well, a little dab will do you, right? So
yeah, I remember that.
Greasy kid stuff, all that. So I tell you what, it's either that or put up with a real. That's not my favorite place to get a sunburn. All right.
No,
I get forever now. I just don't even go out without wearing a hat. So
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Same here. I usually have a hat on. Hey, Lynn, how are you doing, Lynn?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Charles? Dennis?
Doing
John?
well.
Mark?
Hey, Lynn.
Good to see you guys.
You bet, buddy.
Looks like Gary's here. All right. Man, we got a
Gary.
Hey, Gary.
full house.
Hi.
Thanks for coming in, Gary.
You're
And
welcome.
Tom Rammel, he says, we will celebrate our 43rd anniversary in about a month. Wow, Tom, you look too young to have 43 years of anniversary, Tom. That's amazing.
Well,
That's what a good wife does for you.
My goodness, I'm surprised to hear 43, Tom. You look great.
Yeah, that's
I'm
wonderful.
going to be we're about about 2 weeks away from number 46. So
But you look great
Wow.
too. You know, I think it must be
That's
this
awesome.
hobby. You know, you fly mall airplanes, get a lot of sunshine, a lot of vitamin D. You keep young, you know, because when I'm out and about, people are amazed that I'm 63, and they go, "You don't look 63," and I go, "Well, it's probably from flying mall airplanes."
yeah, that's it.
I had
I'm gonna go with
What
that
happened
excuse
to
too.
me? I fly model airplane.
Yeah, you look great too. I mean, you know, hey, you know what, John, you outlived your wife. I mean, that's amazing. You know, it's probably from flying airplanes. Joy should have been flying airplanes. Did you ever get Joy to fly?
Huh? No, she did. She supported me in the hobby though. Any contest I wanted to go to was pack the truck and away we go.
Yeah, when I first met you and Joy at the same time.
Yeah.
So and then when I used to call, I had Joy's phone number. For some reason, your phone number, it didn't answer, or you didn't answer, so I was always calling Joy to ask if you was home.
Yeah.
That's what they do here too. They phone Naomi to ask for me.
Did Lynn come out and play?
Yeah, can Len come out and play?
Well, I had a kind of a special thing, or first time since a very long time. My flying buddy couldn't join me today, so my wife went out to launch my airplane this morning.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah. Well, last time we went flying, I was flying OS-35s. I think she likes this electric thing a little better.
I bet.
For sure.
Mess up
No
her
oil and
Doesn't put oil in her face or anything like that. Yeah.
No, in fact, the way I fly it, I just asked her to push the starting button and walk away. Basically, she's my safety on the airplane.
That's right. That's awesome.
And the way Wes and I work it out, we usually let the other guy press the start button. You don't push the start with delay or anything like that, and then walk out to the center. I signal and I walk out to the center, and then I'll yell contact. Wes will push my start button, but it's not until I'm ready to fly. My lines are walked out. I'm straight. I'm,
just in case.
Wipe out my eyes and everything like that. When the motor starts, I'm ready to fly, or I'm ready to fly before the motor. I'm not waiting for a timer to kick off or something like that. So,
hey, how's that new plane flying for you?
Really good. I had an interesting kind of day. I landed it inverted.
Oh.
Yeah, I discovered that unsinkable ships sink. The problem, traced it back. I think I got a bad capacitor in the ESC. Is what it amounts to. And the thing, it shut off on me inverted. So,
oh wow. So, hope you were on grass.
I was on grass, so that was good. And even with the V-tail, nothing got injured. The airplane got nice and dirty. I got a scoop full, I got a ring, an air inlet around the spinner, and it one of those angular inlets. I was amazed at how much mud that thing picked up,
but no damage. That's good.
No damage except dirty and my pride. So I got the thing all put back together, and
that's what I was gonna say. You got your feelings hurt.
That's it. That's it. And my frail ego and everything like that. That might have been the worst part of the whole thing. But,
hey, we all missed your birthday there to tell you happy birthday, Denny.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah. Oh, happy birthday, Denny. When was your birthday?
Last Wednesday.
Wow, happy belated birthday.
You get them, after a while, just turned 67. It's like, oh, you again? Birthday. But it's, it sure beats the alternative.
Yes,
darn right.
I can. So it's like, as Doc Holliday says, he today, what his signature? It's like,
I like
today
signature.
my personal record for most consecutive days alive, or something like that. That's a pretty good record to keep on going. So
yes,
yeah.
Always improving on your personal best effort.
That's it. That's it. You don't want any glitches in that one. So
one of the guys on his sign-off thing on there has, it's not hard to get old, but it's hard to stay old.
Yeah. Well, there's one of those silly YouTube things and stuff. Clint Eastwood and Toby Keith recorded something. It was kind of part song, part poem. Basically, Clint Eastwood talking about don't let the old man in. Don't
Absolutely.
Stop being interested, don't stop being interested in life. Don't stop doing things. Just keep going. Yeah, it includes playing with toy airplanes and
for sure
chasing your girlfriend around the sofa and everything. I mean, whatever it is, you just keep doing it.
Okay, see you guys.
Off to the races.
I got some chasing to do.
Yeah.
Growing old is mandatory. Growing up is optional.
Yes.
There's the man. +1. +1 on that, Mark.
So, the last time I was at Joe Knoll, I was up there at the field where they's flying, and someone was inverted, and it stopped on him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, goodness.
Was it electric or was it glow?
Electric. It was electric. Yeah. I was surprised at that.
Yeah, and all I hear about how electric is just, plug and play. It's everything's the same. It works, no issue. All I hear is all this stuff.
Well, like I said, it's like, and it's been that way for me. I've never had any issues or anything like that to speak of. Nothing that wasn't self-imposed, like trying to use the same battery twice or something like that. Even that, you get a warning on it. But this was, like I said, this is like the unsinkable ship. Like even the perfect electric stuff. It's a mechanical system, and it's got failure modes.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, guys, let me catch up on the chat box because Mike Lonke has a question. First, Mike Lonke said, like Given, be there in a few, setting Samuel up to dope an elevator. Then he goes on to say, darn, I have rust in my nitrate dope. Anyone used it that way?
Well, I used to use rust to color in lead paint, so I mean, yeah.
Biggest problem might be if it's particulate or something like that. Literally, if it's like a chunk of rust, I could see that being a problem. But other than that,
no problem.
And the fact that it's probably going to be a little off color, but if it's nitrate, he's going to put something over it anyway. So
it shouldn't hurt.
It's a pigment.
He says plenty of butyrate though. He says plenty of butyrate though.
Well, the nitrate isn't going to get better with age, so go ahead, use it up.
Yep.
What about just screen it with a screen with really fine
screen it? That would be even better. So
that's good.
So this is how strain it, Mike. Strain it, and then just keep so you can see it. It's crystal clear. You'll be able to get most of it, and then probably it might even settle down, and then just paint from the top of the paint.
Well, if he's painting the stab, I'm going to take a leap until he's brushing it and not spraying it, so it's not going to clog up a spray gun or anything like that. So yeah, like you say, if you pour it through a screen, maybe even pour it through you think just pouring it through a paper towel would work?
I think a piece of
coffee filter. If you use
that works.
Paper, do a coffee filter. That doesn't.
A piece of window screen works good too.
What'd you say, Lynn?
I use a piece of window screen.
Okay, that's not real fine. A window screen.
If you want something finer, that's fine, but it doesn't tend to want to pour through it very easily if you get it too fine.
It's true.
You could tell Sam to go ask his mom for some of her pantyhose.
Good luck.
Yeah, Sam might get away with it.
She's gonna wonder about
Mike won't. Mike sure won't, but Sam might.
Yeah. Sam might get away with that one.
I think
that would be ideal.
I think the pantyhose was kind of dated too. She'd probably go, pantyhose? I don't wear pantyhose anymore. I wear stockings.
Well, whatever, I know my dad used to use like silk or nylon left over from the last covering job, Yeah. He used to always pour it into the spray gun through a silk or nylon filter. That was pretty good. That's pretty fine.
I got a good story about this. When I went down to see Windy, he had 7 old quarts of Brodak dope that he gave me that had been sitting around for years. And I said, I'll take those, no problem. He says, just take it. I never want to see it again. So I took it home. And they had big chunks in it and everything else. I poured it through a window screen. The stuff worked beautifully. I'm still using it.
Really?
So it's probably since it was probably new around 2010. Still fine, nothing wrong with it. I screened it all out. It works great. No problems with it.
Yeah.
So Jeff Riley, he said, "Happy anniversary, Charles." Thank you, Jeff. And Mike Lonke went on to say, "Yeah, first coats before silk span." I think this is Mike Lonke here.
Yes.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, I'm thinking that, just brushed on there and stuff, it's not going to clog the spray equipment or anything like that. It might have more trouble with, losing bristles from the brush versus that. But, I think the next question is, what would you guys do to seal the can or jar?
Oh, that's a great question. Hey, Mike, by the way, thanks for coming in, Mike.
Yeah, thanks, man. I got some. It's fine particulate. It's not big chunks.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're doing is, so it's the Tom Dixon Vector 40 profile, it's a slab elevator, but I'm gonna have him nitrate it, and then we're gonna put light silk span on it, to help cover the grain. And I wanted to use nitrate to put everything down. Same thing for the wing, and the rest of the fuse. The other issue is, though, I only got about a third of a can. I don't know if that's going to be enough to do the whole airplane and get all that silk span down. So maybe just go butyrate the whole way, because I got fresh cans of butyrate.
Yeah.
Yep.
Aren't you going
I
hate to waste a third of a can of nitrate, though, man. But
I'm doing something else.
Aren't you going to thin it?
Well, yeah. Well, no, actually, this is already thinned because I wrote it on the lid. I thinned it last time I used it.
But
Hey,
you'll be
Mike,
building
new
another
airplane, new product.
New airplane, new product. What were you going to say, John?
I was going to say, you're going to be building another airplane. You can use it on that.
On something else. Yeah, just go butyrate all the way, I guess.
Yeah.
It's his Nat's plane, so I don't want to take a chance screwing anything up on it.
Yeah,
good.
I mean,
you could that'd be the perfect thing to use on any of those free flights you've been building and stuff like that too.
Yeah, another project maybe. I just like the nitrate for the adhesion of the silk span. It seems to go on a little better. But all right.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, Tom.
Hi, Tom.
All right, look at there.
Oh, yeah, it's
There you
trainer.
go.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah.
I have the paint shop that gives them free. You can go there and
All right.
they'll give them to you free.
I just like the nitrate for the adhesion. It seems to go on a little better.
Where are we getting this long? Hey, Tom.
Hey, Tom, we're getting a loop, you guys. Tom, do you happen to have a tab open by chance?
Oh, yeah, I might.
Oh, yeah, it's trainer. Yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah.
And you guys, Mark Linton wants to say something. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, I got a quick show and tell before we get real busy. I know last week I ordered some of the Kevlar for the hinges, that Tryon had showed us that one night. And I hinged up the back of the Magician because I had some broken hinges there. And I did kind of a little photo thing. Just
Oh, cool.
let me see if I can figure out how to do it. I can share the screen.
And you guys think about how you seal your paint cans. I think that's a great question that Denny proposes. So, you in the audience, if you have any suggestions, share how you seal up your cans of dope. It'd be interesting.
Mason
I would like
jars.
to know too. Mason jars, okay.
Well,
Good idea.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So it comes in I think I showed you guys last week. It come in this big tube and they wrapped it around the outside of the tube. And
I'm on the outside.
took me a while to figure out that it was actually even there. But anyway, in its raw form, it's a booger to cut. So raid the wife's best sewing scissors and wait for the aftermath. But I laid out at a 45 on the bias, like he said. That's kind of the first picture. And just took thin CA and, went back and forth. It didn't take that much CA. I was kind of surprised. But, over parchment paper or whatever you guys use, it doesn't stick to. And I think I can go to the next picture here, maybe, if I'm smart enough. Then I laid it out, lined it out in I don't know what it was, 1 inch increments. And end up cutting them in squares. He suggested making them oval a little bit, which I did. I think that may be the final result. I'm not sure. I ended up cutting them smaller. Yeah, that's the smaller ones. And they cut really nice once they've been infused, I guess you could say. like I say, that's the Magician. Had a little slice there with the the Exactive, but they really fit in nice. Just go slow and make a nice small cut, and then thin CA each edge. You know.
Right.
Oh well, no, that's that was today. Sorry.
That was delicious.
Yeah.
That was a smoked corned beef. Yeah.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah. And that's just a little bit of the what happened on this. I used kind of a thick X-Acto blade, and you can see the bulge here.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, so probably use a thinner blade. I ended up going to a little bit thinner blade. Again. Oh, well, hang on. Up. Let me see what I've done here before I make a mess. At any rate, I thought I had a video, but anyway, once they're in, let me stop sharing here. Okay, that worked. Once they're in, and you CA both ends. As Tryon said, I got to be smarter than the camera here. They freed up very well. There's still just a little stiffness, Part of that is I didn't hog out enough for my control horn. So where I really thought the hinges were binding, it's the control horn touching the edge of the stabilizer.
Right, I've had that before myself.
Yeah, but so far so good. And he was saying also you can take a small, he said like a butter knife or something small and run it. I'm not gonna do it with this, but just run it along and just kind of wipe on the Kevlar, and it breaks up that thin CA.
Right.
Yeah,
I remember him saying that.
Yeah,
Use
it was worth trying.
Use the backside of your knife, Mark.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I had I wasn't going to use that one for sure, but I had something I was using before. But so I'm real happy. Like I said, I wanted to practice on this one. I mean, this thing has been built for almost probably 8 months. It's set in Africa forever. And one of the guys that was coming back here, a couple of weeks ago, threw it on the airplane and got it back. And then that's when I remembered I had broken hinges. So it was a good thing. But I think it's a good little project. And so far, I mean, I've never, the only hinges I've ever experienced were the plastic ones, but so far so good. I think I'm going to be happy with that. Yeah. And I'll probably hinge up the Vector once I start doing that. I wanted to practice on something before. It's probably hinge up the Vector with it, but I'm going to use as wide of a hinge as I dare,
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Maybe 2 inches long. I don't know. Yeah. Try and said you could do full span, but I don't know if I got that much guts. Okay. You get one little bow, I think, if you go that far, and you're going to have binding issues, I would think. But anyway, that's
Hey, very good. Thank you.
Yeah,
Denny, you're muted. Denny was trying to say something, but he's muted.
He's probably saying it's going to fail.
No. I jumped in before he was finished and stuff like that. And I think Trans explained he uses those things full span, and they work out well for him. So I'm sure they'll work out well for you too. And the key thing is being, just going through what he does and breaking up, like you were saying, breaking up that the CA and everything like that. That's probably really the key to the whole thing. It'll work as well as that does. And frankly, it'll work better over time, I'm sure. Some engine vibration and stuff like that, some flight experience, all like we used to loosen up hinges on, that were butyrate dope. That's cloth hinges with butyrate dope, and you couldn't move the controls for the first 10 flights or so until they wore in a little bit, But
exactly.
Well, maybe not that bad, but you get the idea. But.
Yeah. The Vector came with CA hinges, and that's where I kind of got the idea. And I says, well, anyway, if it's going to be CA hinges anyway, why not try Kevlar? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, Mike wants to say something. You guys, go ahead, Mike.
Well, since Mark brought up hinges, just today we cut hinge slots in Sam's Vector 40 profile with my new slot machine tool.
How do you like that?
Show me.
So it's a reciprocating saw, 2 blades.
Yeah, I got one of those.
And then
I have one too.
There's an alignment tool that you use to straight. And I practiced. We played around on some balsa, we did a bunch of test cuts on some balsa pieces before we actually cut into the elevator. But I'm really happy with this, man. This
Very
is
nice, huh?
really easy tool to use. And after I get Sam to open this elevator, I'm probably going to cut the slots in the ailerons. So maybe I can show you how this guy's how it works.
Because I've never used mine. I got one and I've never used it.
Is it just a vibrator?
Yeah. They reciprocate back and reciprocate would be that way if they go this way.
Cool.
I've used the other Great Plains set that has the tool that you put on and it automatically centers, and then the picks. And boy, that
Mark's got one.
Yeah, I mean that works, but it seems to crush a lot of balsa, and then you spend a lot of time picking.
Dig it out.
A lot of times when you get in there with that pick tool, the hole is too big. You've hogged out the hole so big.
Exactly.
This slot machine, man, it's just right. It's a nice snug fit. There's no slop in there, and then it's wide enough that it gives you just a little bit, about
adjustment,
maybe a little more than an eighth of adjustment on each side, and the pocket is square all the way.
And you don't get the wood puckering on both sides because the slot's too narrow. That's perfect.
Or you don't take that fork and shove it through the balsa sideways and poke out the monocoque, which is always done. So I'm pretty stoked about this thing. It worked really well, man. It's my new favorite thing. And I picked it up. It was in that batch of stuff I bought on Facebook Marketplace, that last little collection of airplanes and stuff that I got. It was in there, and I was like, okay. With three brand new sets of replacement blades too. Later on, I'll mark the wing and the ailerons and maybe do some aileron slots if I don't have too many beers before then. I don't want it to turn into the knot tying episode, man.
No.
How did you tie that knot again, Mike?
You're only famous because we keep busting you for that. That's all. But,
yeah.
So, no, that tool, they show in the instructions. I've never used mine that way, but they actually show it for building like stringered fuselages and things like that, using it as a cutting tool for stuff that's too big for a razor blade or something like that.
I think anywhere that you could get this in would make a nice flush cut.
Yep,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, the saw action is really, really powerful, and that'll really, that'll take on a pretty substantial piece of wood. So
balsa. It says, it'll work on harder woods, but you got to go real slow, and it wears the blades out fast.
Mm-hmm.
I see you, John. But Tom had a question or wants to say something. Go ahead, Tom. Tom, you're muted.
I must have hit something wrong because I didn't have anything to say.
Go ahead, John.
Okay. The first one of those I used was over at Gordon Delaney's house, and he had one. I don't know, it was Norm Whittles, but it was somebody else that he borrowed, and that was whoever he got it from had made a holder for it. They held it with the blade exactly parallel to the base, and you could set that in there. You could shim up the height and hit it dead center on a part, and you just go along. You'd have marked on here. You just take it here, go zip, move it to the next one, zip. It was fantastic.
Yeah, you do.
I have the plans for that jig. I don't know where they're at, but I know exactly what you're talking about, John. It's like an apparatus that you add to the actual device.
Yeah.
And it matches the angle of if you have a trailing edge that's kind of like a V shape, it gets so it's perfectly in the center.
Yeah.
And it holds it. So it's not just, I know that identifies the center, but this holds the jig. The jig holds the machine at the center.
But this will angle too. So if you're coming off an angle of a wing to a flat, you can change the angle of this so that it's going in straight. And then you do have to, when you put the tool in, you can hold it and eyeball it from the side to make sure you're going in straight.
Yeah, sometimes you twist it a little bit in there. That's the problem thing. You think you got it straight, but you got it a little bit twisted. And
not me, man. Calibrated arm, brother. It's straight in at a 90, man.
Oh, I know you do. I know you do. But I was thinking after you have a few of those Irish beers,
Yeah. No, I know.
Yeah, see how straight they are tomorrow morning. Measure it again.
Well, I know these are good because I did these before I had my first beer.
Yeah,
but, I gotta say, man, after just about, I did about 10 practice slots on a couple different pieces of balsa, and after you get the technique down, and one thing I learned is you got to get the saw into the plastic before you start it. You just kind of push it into the guide before you start it, and you got to hold on tight because it does wiggle a little bit. But after a few practice runs, you get pretty proficient with it, and I'm pretty happy with the slots I cut.
It's well worth the money, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, considering it was just in with all that other stuff.
No, I mean, if you had to pay full price, it's worth it.
Yeah, I think they're $40, man. They're $30 or $40, maybe.
Wow.
But that includes the alignment attachment.
Yeah, this little guy. Wow. But if this one ever breaks, I'll buy another one, and you can be darn sure I'll be looking out for them at RC swap meets. If I see them in junk bins and stuff, I'll buy them.
That's where I got mine.
Just to have a spare.
That's where I got mine. It was just by a mistake.
About swap meets. There's a lot of people who I think got disillusioned with it. They didn't use it right and things like that. And I'm with you. If I saw one of those on the scrap heap at a swap meet, it would be. I have one and it's working fine. I'd grab another one in a heartbeat if I could.
Well, I mean, other than this other Great Plains, the fork and that deal and digging them out.
That's a pain in the butt.
How else do people cut slots?
I just use a number 11 blade.
And there
were some people at the Toledo show a couple of years ago. They made what they called a balsa swage. Basically, it was a long, pointy tool and had several teeth on either side. And you basically could line it up, and then you just started wiggling it back and forth. And with the teeth on the side, it would cut its way down. They did a really nice job with it. And they had a different size for like CA hinges and regular, medium size hinges, and then quarter scale hinges. Basically, the blades got a little bigger, but they mostly got thicker, to accommodate the hinge.
Right.
But the bottom line there is that you're you're cutting a triangular hole that's twice as deep as what you need for the hinge, and stuff like that. And if you get it all the way in there, it's good for the width of the hinge, and it does a nice job. I got one of those too, and I use it all the time. But what I really like about the slot machine is that it cuts a square, like you said, it cuts a hole the same size and shape as the hinge.
Right.
Exactly.
It goes in without any friction. Even a CA hinge, it goes in and it stops. So,
yeah. I'm sold, man. It's the easiest, easiest slots I've ever cut in my life.
I saw an article I read about Dave Fitzgerald's Thundergazer. I believe that's where I saw it. But he had his Thundergazer wing in the lost foam cradles, so that the center of the trailing edge is, it's not an angle, it's straight, right? And then he had a drill press with a cutoff wheel. And he adjusted the table to that cutoff wheel, slid the wing inside the cradle up against the cutoff wheel, and just kept, going back, and just putting the holes in it. I thought that was very ingenious.
Yeah. Well, that'd be good if you wanted to use these Kevlar as a full Yeah.
Yes, that would be great for
Oh
that.
yeah, ding all the way
Slide it
across,
through.
man.
You know, in one of Wendy's videos, he had a Dremel tool set up with a, as he said, a wore out blade, and kind of a similar thing. He had an attachment that attached on the side, and he would raise and lower it while his wing was in the jig, and yeah, that's how he would put them in. So yeah, that's a.
Well, they used to make a little thing you could put a Dremel tool in, and you could use it like a small drill press.
Mhm.
And that would work real good with a thin cutoff wheel.
Yes, yes.
You know, you could
Yeah.
set it in place and center it, and then away you go. Somewhere I have one of those.
That
Yeah,
For too many.
Chris Rigotti's got a real neat method. He builds his all his hinge edges. He builds them with a piece of 1/32 balsa at the center, and he builds up a piece of balsa on top and bottom of that. And he leaves a gap where in the 1/32, he leaves a gap where the hinges are going to be. And so basically the slide is built in, it's not cut.
Right.
And he can control exactly where they are, surface to surface. And, you know, when he's all done, the last thing he does is slips them right in, glues them in, and he's got an absolutely perfect notch for the hinge. Chris has got a lot of really good build threads on Stunt Hangar. If you ever look any of those up, he really goes.
Chris Cox or Chris Rudd?
Mr. Gotti.
Chris Rigotti.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have seen a few of his, and also, what's that guy that's a pilot? And he also has Ferraris. Who's that?
Bob Zambelli.
Bob Zambelli has some good building articles or tricks as well. There was something I was going to say.
Looks like he's got the same problem I had. He's got his door open and all the flies are coming in.
Well, I left it open too long before I put my screen down because I got a roller screen on my garage, but I didn't get it down in time before the gnats got in.
Yeah,
But if I turn the lights off for 10 minutes, my bug zapper will get them. I got a small portable, well, not portable, but just a small bug zapper, and I leave it plugged in up on my ceiling. So when I go in the house at night and turn all the lights off in the shop, I come out, I'm bug free the next day. And then the best thing I ever put on my shop door was that roll down screen. Because, man, I used to get just tore up. It's so hot in the summer, you got to have the door open.
Right.
But I would have just all kinds of critters flying around in here. But now that I got the screen and the zapper, I'm relatively bug free.
Cool.
You know, I would like to see that roll down screen because I have that issue. Remember last year I was in my garage. It was like 107 degrees in my garage. And I was working it out there. I don't know if you guys remember, but
Wow.
yeah, I could definitely use that idea.
Right here. So you can see the bottom of it.
I see the bottom of it, yes.
The bar, and then there's 2 rails. There's a rail on each side. And then that's all a screen. And then it's just got a pull chain here inside.
Okay.
Chain,
That's inside the garage, and the garage door is outside of that. Is that correct?
No. I can close my garage door with the screen down. The screen is outside the garage door.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's outside, and it all fits into a cassette, a pretty small, like 4-inch by 4-inch cassette up here at the top. That's outside. The only thing is you lose about, I don't know, 2 inches from the track because that's inside the frame of the door. So you lose 2 inches of width. You know, could be an issue if you wanted to put a car in or something. But
very cool. Thanks for showing me, Mike.
Home Depot, $400 for a single bay door is what they get.
Wow.
And that's what that is, single bay. They do make double bay door ones, but they're like $1,000, I think.
Well, I was single
That's
door.
what I would need. Oh,
Yeah, the install was not the easiest either, because this one was like 3 inches too big. So I had to cut the cassette with the rolled up screen in it.
Oh,
you got to take all the hardware out of it, cut it to the right size. And, you definitely don't want to go too short because then it won't be in we measured, I don't know, 100 times before we actually cut that thing because
Right, of course.
that would have been a bad cut.
Yeah.
But, there's all kinds of other ones out there. There's kinds that are like fold up like diamonds, and there's bifold ones that actually, Len, if you got a double two-car
I got a
garage,
double.
they make one that has, it's like 1-inch aluminum reinforcement in it, which you need if it's going to be a double because it's just
for sure. Because so
too much
long.
screen.
16 feet long. Exactly.
Yeah, too much screen. But then they have a man door in them. Since they got a frame in them.
Yeah, that's
they got
cool.
a man door you can walk through. But
that's awesome.
You're getting way up there in price.
The money. Okay.
You'll choke when you see how much they cost. Yeah.
It's something to think about in the future, though.
This is the
Mark,
most.
what's going on, Mark? What are you doing outside?
Mark's going to show us something.
No, I the boss's kids are in town, and they were watching TV and making a bunch of noise. So I figured I'd come out on the carport and hang out here.
Okay, I appreciate you hanging with us. Thank you.
Cardboard.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, hey, Mike, you're gonna be proud of me.
What do we got? Kevlar.
Wow, look at you.
Look at you go, trying.
Kevlar string and Spectra lines. A combination of this is the Tryan Mike whatever.
Coalition.
That's my dirty comment influence.
Cool. But you need him to show you how to tie the knot, right?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Mike, you're never going to live it down.
That's what I'm doing here.
What are you doing now? Oh, you laying it up, huh?
Yeah, but I just put the final coat of release agent on them. They're ready to go. I just dropped like $250 in paint.
Wow.
Ridiculous. And now I did buy the bullets, so that's that.
Very cool.
So that's that.
That's awesome.
But worst case scenario, Mike is proud of me.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, I'm curious when you fly if it feels like a hard point handle because this spider wire is so flexible. Should be like a hard point, right?
It does, yeah, because you don't have none of the springiness of the wires.
Right.
Yeah, it's never springing, like stretching out, or the regular wires are so thick when you deflect, they kind of go like that on an angle, right? And as the plane pulls, it takes that spring out of it a little bit. But the planes never pull that hard, so that's that. But with this, they do feel like a hard point handle.
Excellent.
That being said, I switched to the other handle because it's lighter, and I was being told like, "Hey, if the handle is lighter, you can feel the plane better in the air." So
that's right.
So yeah, so that's basically why I did it. So, but yeah, these are finally I have a set of lines for the Prowler. I can fly it now. I think I'm gonna start with what am I gonna start with? I think I'm going to start with Igor. I'm going to take the Igor burger from the Revolutions and put it on the Prowler just to have a baseline thing.
Did you pre-stretch those wires already?
No, I did not. I have to do that. I did not forget about it. But you are right. So, by the way, another thing that I like about this, look at the handle. It's like that.
Wow.
No kink. You can just.
You can care less. You don't care. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter.
That is nice. Yes, I don't do that because I am concerned about my wires getting kinked. So I.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But with this, you don't have to. Yeah.
No worries. Yeah. So that's one reason for which when I make my my Kevlar lead outs, I make them a little bit longer so they're gonna fit in they're gonna fit about this way, right?
Right.
You get it?
I see it.
So you don't want to make it too short to the point like they end here. You want them to end somewhere inside here.
So I noticed that your handle, your bar is at an angle. Did you arrive at that angle by trial and error or what?
What?
The bar on your handle, it appears to be at an angle.
Well, it's pretty straight.
Yeah, it's pretty straight. It's got a little bit of an angle, but
it may be just the camera playing tricks with our eyes too.
A little bit of an angle, it's really, it's almost, it's very symmetric, unless you go like 20, 30 degrees, then it's not symmetric anymore.
Do you use a bolt on the Kevlar cable to lock it there in the center? Do you just crush it to hold it, or what is that? How do you keep the Kevlar from moving?
Oh, this I have to tighten it down, but it has a clamp over there.
Okay, so you clamp directly on the Kevlar.
Yeah, but what I've done in here, that's the first thing I've done. I disassembled the whole thing, right? And I made sure I break in all the edges, sand them off, so there's nothing sharp in here.
So right. Cut.
And the same thing I've done on this piece in here. The piece. I put a file on it and I round it off, so when you tighten down, it's not gonna give it any chance to cut or anything like that. But even if, I was thinking about saying that even if it's a sharp edge, don't take chances, right? That's all I have to say. Make sure everything is rounded off nicely, and you don't give it a chance to cut, and you should be fine. Anyway,
by the way, I like your Nats shirt. That's pretty cool.
Thanks. I think it's my last year shirt. And what else can I say about this? This Kevlar thread that you see here in this handle.
Right.
I think this is rated at 300 pounds or something like that.
Wow. Yeah, that should be more than enough.
I hope so.
Might get the job done. Yeah.
The Prowler breaks that, you got bigger trouble.
Yeah. In the chat box, you guys, Mike Rigel. I'm sure I'm butchering your name. Forgive me. He wishes me congratulations on my 24th anniversary. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
24th anniversary. Cool.
Yeah. Today's my anniversary with my wife, but we celebrated yesterday, so that's why I'm here. And I was able to go flying today.
Awesome.
And I had an old friend who lives out of town. He came to visit me, and so Carl, who's here, thanks for coming in, Carl. So Carl and Keith and my friend Richard came out, and we was flying. And I bring up this to mention that I actually got this guy who's never flown control line before out in the center of the circle with my trainer. Mm-hmm. And we flew, and I got at the end. I was barely holding the handle. I was there just like when you're lifting weights and you have a spotter, the hand there, but you're not really doing anything. And the guy pretty much flew it, and so that was a great day. Hopefully, who knows? This might be the start of his control line, endeavor. Because to me, there's nothing like control line. He does a lot of like those soaring gliders. That's what his.
What's with that? I know a lot of people that do fly control line. They also fly gliders for some reason. It's like
this was his first time flying a control line, but he's big time into gliders.
Yeah, like I fly DLGs and big gliders, right?
Yeah.
And I make DLGs as a matter of fact. So that's my school. Before I start doing this. Before my return back to control line, and actually I'm using a lot of the knowledge that I applied over there to make my planes right now. So that's why they are so light and so strong, right? But it's just, I have a buddy of mine in Romania that also flies control line, and guess what else she flies? He flies glider.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you know what else he flies? Free flight. And I see this marriage of control line and free flight everywhere.
Yeah, free flight guys, they definitely have a little bit of an edge because they know how to build light and they know how to trim. There's a lot of advantages from a free flight going into control line that you bring with you.
It's a huge advantage in control line if you know free flight well because of trimming. Huge advantage.
I think
I'm not one of them.
I think also that what we see with guys flying free flight and gliders and control line is they're all kind of retro. The RC guys, they like their big power, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, they like their big power and their maneuvers, and and the guys that fly gliders, RC gliders, are working on the edge. You know, they're having to watch the sky, watch for any signs of thermals. If they're soaring gliders, you know, if they're free flighters, they have to trim the airplane, program the flight before they ever let it go. And we as control liners, you know, we're not the first people that achieved control of a model airplane in its flight. Actually, it was RC preceded control line, but we are the ones that have hands on, and that's kind of a little different than RC. So, you know, they're all of them are good parts of the hobby to get involved in, but I can see a direct link between control line and gliders and free flight.
Yeah.
No,
Let me
but
shout out to
it's
Peter. Hey, Peter, thanks for coming in.
Hey, Peter.
Yeah.
Hey, Peter.
What's the odd part is like it's not like we it's like you find this combination quite a bit, right? And I know a lot of guys that fly control line and they fly gliders as well. It's just a weird combination, you know. So you go from something that's relatively violent to something that's relatively peaceful, right? You go to the extents, you know, because I think control line flying is borderline violent in some maneuver.
Yeah.
I mean, it's super aggressive, right?
Yep. I was hoping Phil would show up. I had some information for him on biplanes and trimming biplanes. I got into online and made a search on biplanes and wing incidents and that online, and it's amazing what I uncovered. And it was good information, some that I think applies directly to the 2-bits. So basically, in a nutshell, it works this way. Biplanes, a lot depends on the stagger, whether it's positive, whether the front wing's in front of the lower wing, or negative stagger, like the stagger wing B, or whether they're stacked, like I think it's SE5, they're stacked one above the other.
Right.
And more wings than two is a whole nother situation. But what was that?
A whole new game.
Yeah. And what the there's several areas of thought on incidences on wings for biplanes. One, if you're flying and you want just kind of a more gentle flying airplane, one that will have a relatively gentle stall, you wind up with positive incidence in the wing, 1 degree or 1.5 degrees, and probably 0 on the lower wing. And what happens when you get into a stalling situation, the upper wing will now stall first. And as it stalls first, the aft wing is now flying. Now you got a long nose out here compared to this wing here that's in front is no longer lifting. And so you get nose heaviness, which drops the nose and recovers from stall. The other way in aerobatic pipes, and in a stagger wing, you do it just the opposite. Okay, that's why the Beach was such a nice corporate airplane. It had a nice controllable stall, and it's nice manners flying. In an aerobatic biplane, and Mark can check me out on this, that you want to put some negative incidence in the top wing, 1 to 3 degrees, depending. And, you know, I'm going to leave on the 2-bits because it's already built, I'm going to leave the bottom wing at 0 incidents. But what I'm going to do is put about 2 degrees of incidence, down incidence, negative incidence in the top wing. What happens now is when I go in to stall, the bottom wing is going to stall first. And now the upper wing, which is a little further forward, is now flying. And now you get a snappier airplane. You get one because you've got a longer tail and you're a little on the tail heavy side. And so when you want to make those square corners, you're going to have a better chance of flying through it without snap rolling or doing anything like that. And that's basically in a nutshell. And I forget what it was when you're like an SE5, when you got them stacked one on top of the other. There's triplanes, you start off with 0, 0 on the bottom, about 1% on the middle one, about 2% on the top one. Positive incidents. Anyway, it was interesting reading, and I spent about 2.5 hours reading a whole bunch of articles on it. So anyway, found out what I needed to know. I think I'm going to make the 2 bits. I'm going to make the top wing adjustable, so I can adjust from positive 1 degree to negative maybe 3 degrees. And so that'll also, I have it set up so the flaps, I can adjust it so I can have more flap on the lower wing and less on the top, or vice versa, whatever it turns out. So possibilities. Hope Phil gets to look at this later on in the week. He's probably busy somewhere right now.
Yeah, with the holiday, I'm glad everybody showed up. Who showed up?
Yeah.
What was the source of that article? Remember, was it in a aviation magazine or?
No, it was on the internet. I just went on a Google search and I looked in biplane design wing incidents. Yeah, or you could go wing incidents, biplanes. You know, you can go at it several ways. And I got 3 or 4 pages of various. A lot of them were RC forums, RC online, and things like that. But they were many of the answers were coming from people with an aviation background.
Cool. Interestingly enough, when you talk about biplanes, we were rigging a Stearman a bunch of years ago. Yeah, and the Stearman has flying wires. Yeah, and I always wondered, okay, what flying wires? Okay, well, yeah. Well, just for the things you're saying, along with the struts, of course. Yeah, you could adjust that wing, up, down, front, back, to get both wings in synergy, so to speak. Yeah. With what they call flying wingers, and they were Stearman especially went from, say, the top and the 45 or whatever degree it was down to, say, the bottom of the strut. Yeah, in a couple of places. Interesting stuff for sure. Yeah.
Oh, it is. It is, and I found I got in quite a heated discussion with one of the club members up in Salt Lake about this. He's also a free flighter. He's a speed flyer and stunt flyer. He's a very accomplished fellow, but he and I could not come eye to eye on incidents on biplanes. He says that both wings are flying. They got to be flying. I said, but they're raked up so that they're causing one wing to stall so that the plane can perform or do certain, perform in certain ways. We'll probably never agree on that principle, but that's what a lot of people say. And there's even a book that an ebook that one of them took me to that was written in 1912 or it was before World War II. And Leoning, anyway, he's well known as the aerodynamicist of his day. And when he goes in and he talks about this and he uses representation, but they're all based on these old airplanes pre-World War I or right at the beginning of World War. And they're from observations because they didn't have all the math worked out. But they're from observations and wind tunnel tests and things like that. He even says that wind tunnel said it should have done this, but in actual practice, it didn't work, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of good information out there if you just go after it on the internet. Sometimes you get lucky like I did.
This is true.
Len, did you have a hand up?
Yeah, I got a couple of paint questions to ask. I don't know if anybody has any information on it, but I'll ask anyway. I've got 2 new airplanes, both painted now, but I've got a couple of flat spots on them. Now, when that paint, I'm using like automotive type paint or like Rust-Oleum stuff. After a few weeks, when it's well cured, can I buff this to try and get it shiny, or do I have to put more paint to get it shiny? Does anybody have any experience with that?
Is it like when dope gets some moisture in it and
it looks like that a little bit.
Like a blush.
Well, be that
like a bit of a. It's a bit of a. It may be a bit of a blush. I don't know. What happened was I painted the airplane and I missed a couple of spots. So when I went back over it again, it left a bit of a flat spot here and there. And I'm wondering if I'm going to be able to buff that shiny, or whether I got to try and keep putting more paint on to get it shiny.
Well, it won't hurt to try buffing it first. And
once it's well cured,
make yourself a lot of trouble.
Yeah, like if I use some sort of a compound on it, I'm hoping I can bring the shine up, as opposed to just keep laying more paint on and adding more and more weight.
Yeah, I do that first, Len.
Okay.
If it doesn't work, then
I can show you the airplane. You can see what it looks like, but it's driving me crazy. I finally just stopped. Like, I stopped spraying more paint on because I didn't want to just keep adding weight.
Well, Len,
it all depends. It all depends where the stuff is at. If it's just humidity that was trapped in there, maybe it's trapped between the original color paint and the first layer of clear, right?
There's no clear. There's no clear. I don't think there's any clear.
Okay.
Like, I mean, this is just automotive paint over well dried out dope.
Okay.
And everything dried really good, except I missed a couple of spots when I sprayed it the first time. And so then a couple of days later, I went back over it just on those spots, but on the edges where I didn't do the whole airplane, it kind of went flat.
You think it's over?
I think that's normal. They might be just gone out when you clear coat it.
Yeah. Well, I won't be clear coating it, but I would like to try and buff the paint once it's well cured and see what happens.
Aren't they supposed to be clear coated?
No.
Automotive is.
Well, maybe it's not automotive. This is just rattle can. Okay, like from the hardware store.
I used some Rust-Oleum, the 2X Rust-Oleum that's supposedly quote fuel resistant. Let's call it that way.
Yeah, that's what I'm using. It's called Tremclad here in Canada.
Yeah. And I didn't clear coat one part of the back of the fuselage. And it's pink now every time I touch it. So at least on my experience with that, I have to go clear over the type paint I had. It was the Rust-Oleum 2. It was a Rust-Oleum 2X, but that's the whole different issue. It wasn't that it was less or anything.
See, the stuff I'm using, there's a clear coat to put on it, but apparently what the guys have told me is that it isn't fuel proof, so don't use it. So I didn't.
You, John. I'll get you in a second, John.
I'll jump in now. Len, can you get anything that would be a thinner for the paints that you have, and just try spraying on a very, very light coat of thinner in those areas?
That's a nice idea.
I'm just trying to think of what would be like. I know stuff that would thin it, like regular Varsol or will thin it, but I don't know if it would destroy the finish if I sprayed it on there and not.
Right.
You might
I
try
don't want
that.
to take that chance because if I do, I guess I could do a sample on something else. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I see what you're getting at. Okay. That might be a possibility too.
I have some thoughts from the chat box, Lynn.
Okay.
But first of all, Mike Rigel says, I saw some Bry cream at the store. They still sell it. And then old control line guy, that's Robert Whitney. Robert
real
just popping in for a minute to say hi. And then Philip Bailey says, congratulations, Charles. I'm out of town and connection not good, but I did get in my like. See you all Friday. I hope to enjoy the quiet.
Okay.
And then Jeff Riley says, try light abrasive like polishing compound. Sounds like the dull has been caused by overspray.
Yeah, that's what I think it is too. That's exactly what I think it is, overspray. So what I will do is what I'll do is use some mothers or something like that and just rub a little bit of it on and then buff it off and see how it works.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Like that?
I like that.
Yeah, same stuff. I have that. That's exactly what I have trying.
It's not good at all.
No?
I'm just kidding you.
Oh.
You mind lifting up again, Tryon, so I can make it big so the audience can see it? I might have been a bit too quick.
That's the aluminum mag wheel stuff, isn't it? Yeah. Exactly. I have the same
Thank you,
one.
Tryon. Thank you.
Stuff works amazing.
Yep.
You don't have any Gorhams from Wendy Wanowski? He didn't give you any?
No, I wish I could get some of that stuff. No, I don't have any of that. He didn't have any of that.
You need something fresh, right? The Gorham, because it dries up.
Gorhams.
Gorhams. Speaking of Wendy and Gorhams, I've been watching videos from Wendy today, and man, I miss the guy. He was so fun. I was watching a video from Wendy today on the Typhoon.
Yeah.
And I miss him so much. So funny.
We all do.
And man, I was just like,
yeah, we all miss him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss him too. I only spoke to him on the phone a couple of times, but I've watched hundreds of videos. Hundreds.
Yeah, we all have. A lot of us have.
A lot of my information about I know is from watching Wendy videos.
You were on a lot of them, Tryon. Your name was used a lot.
Oh, absolutely. But he didn't call you Tryon. He called you
Doran.
Doran, yeah.
Yep. AKA.
Also known as Doran.
Yep. I used to make the. I have some props for sale. I used to make the gear props, and that's the props that Wendy was using. They were best props out there.
People got any?
Yeah, people that were using them, they said they had line tension that where they never had them before.
You bet. I got one on my 90 ship. It works amazing. A 4-blade.
Yep.
Outstanding prop. Absolutely outstanding.
Yep.
Mike, did you want to say something, Mike?
Yeah, I did, but I caught something. Len, you asked Tryon if he has any. Yeah, he's got a whole bunch for sale on Stunt Hangar. 2 blades and 3 blades, gators.
Oh, wow. Those are the ones you were making?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. I need to. I wish I'd known.
What? They're not sold yet, are they?
No.
Yeah, there you go.
What sizes are they, Tryon?
Hold on, you can talk about that after I ask my question. I caught that real quick. Len asked if he had any for sale, and nobody caught that. Inboard, outboard wing. Inboard wing is longer on this Vector 40. Flaps. Should I make them the same size or make one shorter and one longer?
No. Copy the overall length of the wing. So one flap is going to be longer, one is going to be shorter as normal, right? The only difference is that the outboard flaps has the same root cord, and the tip cord is going to be 1/8 of an inch wider.
Right.
So if you have 3.5 inch at the root on one side, you're going to have 3.5 inch on the root on the other side. If you have 2 inch on the tip on one side, on the inboard, outboard is going to be 2 inches and 1/8.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was wondering because what Dixon does is he's got a Randy Smith full-size vector plan with this kit, and then he just writes in magic marker a few things, but the outboard wing is cut off like 2 ribs, from the end, so you don't get to see. There's no notes out there on what it is. The inboard wing is 3/4 of an inch longer than the outboard wing. So the flaps, yeah, okay. Well, I understand that, but these flaps aren't cut, so I've got to cut them to length to get the right deal. My question was, should I just come in the same amount from the tip that the outboard flap is?
That's yeah, I would say yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So then the outboard is still going to be longer, or the inboard is going to be longer than the outboard.
Yep.
Right.
Don't
sure.
Make it up for the area. Make it up for the area by making it 1/8 an inch wider.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Just
So
gonna say,
now, Len, buy your props for Tryon.
Dennis has got a better answer.
well, I was just going to toss in. I've never seen it before, and I've never. But on this Mobest that I'm still trying to get finished off, it has an unequal span wing, and he actually made the outboard flap a 1/2 inch longer than the inboard flap.
I'm going to go check mine.
Yeah, and that was to.
I'm going to measure mine right now, Dennis.
I think what he was trying to achieve there was the same thing as making the flap wider. He just made the thing, longer. That's all. But
so as long as you maintain the relationship between the area, keep the area the same, should be fine.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you, Steve, for coming in. Appreciate it.
No problem. Hey, Charles, do you have a good?
Tryon, what props do you have?
Oh yeah.
They're all brand new, never being used.
Did your wife get you a record from the Domino's?
So what size motor are we talking here? 76? Like 14 inch, 13 inch?
The 3-blade, 14 inch, around 76, yeah.
How many of these do you have?
2.
2?
Yep.
I'll send you the money for both of them.
Okay.
There you go.
And how many 2 blades do you have?
5.
What length are they?
14.
14?
Mm-hmm.
I'll buy them off you too.
All yours, man.
Okay, you just tell me how much and I'll
Commission.
He always wants his cut.
What's the verdict, Mike?
Yeah, the outboard flap is longer on the Mobest.
I'll send you a PM and you can send me your information and then I'll just send you a money order.
Okay.
U.S. money order. Okay.
All right.
Perfect. Thanks, Tryon.
23 on the inboard, 23.5 on the outboard.
Yeah.
At least on this one that Marshall built. So, yeah, it's right.
I say I've never seen that arrangement anywhere else, but he worked.
Okay, so that's the opposite of what everybody just told me to do on this wing, though.
Well, it is and it isn't. It's I think it achieves the same. I think he was trying to achieve the same thing as making a flap wider on the outboard side. Instead of doing that, he just made it longer.
Okay.
So
now I want to go check mine.
Well, I'm going to turn off my mic. The peanut gallery has spoken. I'm marking and cutting, so I hope you gave me good advice.
Okay, Steve, I couldn't hear what you said earlier.
I said, did your wife get you a record from the Domino's?
The group for the anniversary.
For your anniversary.
I'm not.
The Domino's singers.
You don't know what their famous song was?
Don't know. No.
60-Minute Man.
Oh, I don't know. I got to hear it again. It doesn't ring a bell. But my wife was playing this really beautiful music in the car while we was driving, and the song was about Happy Anniversary by a group called Can't remember the name, but beautiful song, beautiful music. So
Yeah, it was a joke. 60-minute man instead of a 5-minute man.
I'm with you now. I got you.
That's
funny,
old
funny,
song.
funny, funny.
Yeah, that was banned from the radio.
Oh yeah, I bet. Back in the day.
I bet.
Yeah. That was banned. What is that calling? It sounds like a bird's outside or something.
I wonder if it's somebody asleep.
Yeah, I keep hearing it. I don't know what that is.
I think it's from Denny's mic or
Yeah.
hearing aid.
Thanks, Denny. Appreciate that.
Hey, Denny, did you figure anything out from talking? I don't know if you talked to Will or not.
Yeah, I talked to John. I did not talk to Will, but basically I got a brand new ESC on board and we're ready to try it again. So
Yeah, I was talking to John too about it. And I don't know if you remember when we mowed the grass at our field, and then the next day I was flying and I thought that the airplane quit on takeoff, squealed, and it sucked up, there was a bunch of grass inside by the motor, and I figured it sucked grass into the motor, and that's what that noise was. But that was the same airplane and everything we brought to Brodak when that damn thing started failing. And that thing made an awful sound when it quit. It took off and went about a half a lap and quit. Just a squealing. So, but I don't know if it was sucking that stuff in there, made the motor turn hard, and that did something to the ESC, raised amps real high or something, and then the ESC stuff. Or if that was the first time it just happened with the ESC, and there just happened to be some grass up inside of that chin scoop.
Maybe he pulled a fence here and sucked up a bee.
Sounds like maybe the bearing in the motor.
No, it was ESC. When we got to Brodak, it kept quitting. And
Yeah, but if the bearing's going bad in the motor, then it can cause more current draw and cause a problem with the ESC.
Yeah, this was a brand new motor. I just cleaned everything out, and the motor's still in that one airplane. So the motor's still good,
Okay.
but it just did it that one time, and we couldn't figure out really why. But
yeah, you can also create that condition if you try to advance the electronic timing on the motor, and if the motor isn't happy with it, it will tell you. I've had that trouble before, but that's why most of the ESCs are set up with just an automatic motor timing, and that's the way to do it. But anyway.
And look at that! You got flaps. One was measured with the American ruler, and one was measured in metric. It looks like.
So Mark would like to say something. Go ahead, Mark.
Your mic's muted.
Your mic's muted.
Okay, when we started talking about the Vector, I went, let me check on mine. Well, this was the ARF that I got, but in its set of flaps, they are absolutely symmetrical, except inboard outboard is that much difference.
Like a half inch looks like, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure they follow the plans.
Yeah,
That's about 3/8.
Which one is longer? Which one's longer?
Outboard.
Inboard, obviously.
Yeah.
The inboard, yeah.
The inboard.
The inboard is longer.
Double check that.
Your inboard is your longer wing.
Well, they may have done the same thing that Larry did, because I think there's a 1-inch difference in the span in inboard to outboard, and there's only a 3/8 difference in flat.
Oh.
All right. So if you have the wing, you have the wing there. I think you'll see a 1-inch difference side to side, or center to tip. But the flap is the ratio of the flap is not the same as the ratio that the wing is.
Right.
So I'm not absolutely certain whether the long one went on the inboard or the outboard. So
I could measure mine.
that's it. He's running back and forth. So
I got a vector downstairs I could go measure, I guess.
yeah, well, look at there. He's got it right in his hands. So
there we go.
Inboard is, well, I guess that's, I guess we call it to the center. I don't know if it could be the center or not. That's 25 inches. They're actually both measuring the same.
Well,
wait a minute. So the panels are equal span?
That's what I'm looking at.
Well, which flap goes to which wing?
I may have been. It's the same distance difference. It's about 3/8 of an inch difference.
All right.
I'll go check Naomi's. It's finished.
Which one's longer, Mark?
Inboard.
Oh, okay.
Well, the inboard's going slower, so it's going to, especially out of the tip. So it's aerodynamically not going to be as much pressure as the outboard one, which is going faster.
And that's like, where you have the adjustable deal on the, it's not a flap, but it's on the end of your flap. You can adjust it for
tab.
Yeah, tab. And then, I usually see him on the outboard wing, but yet I was looking at one of Wendy's airplanes that he did, and he put it on the inboard wing.
He did it on both. He did the inboard and the outboard, and he kind of split the difference. Instead of putting too much drag on the outside, he split the difference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did that on mine. I made it the same just because it looks, they're on both sides. It's aesthetically, it just looks like, it looks better than having one side glued on and one side hinged. That's all.
Oh, okay.
But,
yeah, I didn't realize he put them on both. I seen him working on the one, where the lines were, and he was adjusting it. And I'm like, damn, he puts his on the inside.
You're talking about the tribute, right? The yellow plane?
I'm not sure which one it was now, Charles, that he was working on in a video, and I seen that adjustable.
You might have, on the tribute, he did both. So maybe the one prior, he just did.
What's
did
this?
One. On the tribute, Wendy had the tabs beyond the flaps adjustable.
Yeah.
And he split
Just the one.
Between the two.
I think it was just the one. I think it was just the outboard.
No, on the tribute, he did both.
Did he do both? Okay.
Yeah, on the tribute. I'm suggesting that maybe on the plane prior to the tribute, he had one.
Well, that would have been the Spitfire. That would have been the Spitfire. That was the one before tribute. And the one before that I have in my basement. He didn't have any adjustment. The flaps went all the way on the Novanta.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Was
Novanta had no.
The Novanta, the fiberglass, the all fiberglass airplane?
Fiberglass wing.
Okay. And fuselage, wasn't it? Or not?
He bugged out.
We just lost
lost him just at the key question.
I'm trying to remember on the Novanta, because they had the scoops. Remember, he made that out of wood. Remember the scoops on the back of the wing before the stab? He had scoops. That's when he started doing more and more of those.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the fuselage was wood.
Well, I remember in a video he was out west someplace, I thought, and somebody had made a mold and there was a bunch of them there molding wings.
That was Dave Midgley.
Oh, that was Dave Midgley
Yep.
that did that. But I remember a bunch of them molding wings, and I thought they were doing it in fiberglass. That was.
Yeah,
We're just debating whether the
Carnival.
Navanta's fuselage was. Here's Lynn Burrell. He can talk about his Navanta that he owns. And while Lynn's getting set up, Philip Bailey says the Stargazer has the adjustable tab on the inboard wing.
Oh, okay.
Which that's a Ted, not Ted, but Dave Fitzgerald, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stargazer preceded the Thundergazer.
Yeah, I don't know if it really makes a difference where.
I think when you just thought that it'd be less drag if you could split the difference between the two trim tabs on the tribute. Hey Lynn, there was a question about the fuselage on the Navanta.
Yes.
What's it made out of? Do you know?
Balsa.
It's
all balsa.
Okay.
And it's all on the Windy videos too. If you can see the Novanta videos, it's all balsa, and there's very little inside it. It's almost nothing inside it at all.
The only composite fuselage at the time was Dave Midgley's fuselage, which was a molded carbon fiber off of, and the mold was made off of a cardinal plate. The name of the plane is Carnivore.
Hi, Naomi.
They're saying hello to you, Naomi. She's going to bed.
All right. I remember.
Good night,
Ryan, you remember Jose Modesto? He had a composite fuselage.
Yes, my husband does it.
Remember that?
Yes.
Denny's nephew had one back in the 90s, early 90s.
Yeah, he had a glass fuselage and then a foam wing, also skin foam wing. And actually, you may have seen a thread that Tom McLean did. He actually got my nephew put together a couple of kits for the airplane. One for, I believe it was Walter Menges out west, and I think McLean got his hands on that kit from the estate, from Walter's estate. And that's how he happened to get around to build it in the first place. But yeah, that was a glass fuselage with plug-in balsa wings. So.
Okay.
Let me chime in on the chat. Let's see here. Ed Carlisle says, "Hey Charles, just getting. Been celebrating my birthday. Sent a like. Thank you, Ed, and happy birthday, Ed." And then Philip Bailey says, "I'm sorry, it is the Thundergazer." Okay, I have a Thundergazer, Phil. I haven't gotten around to that yet, but yeah, that I don't remember, but I took your word for it.
Where is Phil tonight? On the road someplace?
I think he's out of town. If I remember, I read earlier. Yeah, he's out of town, and the connection's not good.
Okay.
But he gave the show a like, and you'll see us all Friday, he hopes.
Cool.
So speaking of that, we have had as many as, mind you, this is a holiday, so we have had 17 concurrent viewers, and we have 18 likes, and we have 0 chat revenue, and no new members. So, consider joining our YouTube membership. It's only $4.99 a month. That's less than 17 cents a day, and it helps support this channel. And then if you don't want to do the monthly subscription, please hit the super chat. Those of you that are watching, show us some love and kick us down a little bit of change or money. If everybody did that, we'd have we'd have a Merry Christmas, right?
Yeah.
So everybody consider donating a little bit. We do have some regulars that always are helping us out, and I just really like to get some new people to support us and contribute. So please consider doing that. If you enjoy watching the show, enjoy watching Sparky. Yeah, I think Sparky, last time I saw, he'd gotten like $60 in donations on his super chat on the last show I saw, which might have been Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I don't remember. So please help us out. Show us some love too. So my friend Carl here, he's flying really good. He actually flew today with Keith and myself, and Carl is really progressing. You know, he's I think he's flown more in the last week or two than he has in years I've been flying with, and just that consistency and increased frequency is really paying off big time. Carl, you were really you're really coming along, buddy. I appreciate your effort and what you're doing. You're doing really good.
Well, thank you very much for those nice thoughts, Charles. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Did you get your combat plane figured out?
Yeah, I was flying it today and tried some different things and with the handle adjustment, and I didn't get a chance to figure out the incidents on the motor yet because I wasn't really planning on going out today, because when Charles and I were out last Friday, we were discussing it, and because of his anniversary, he didn't want to come out today, so I just let everything go to work on it during the week. But then he texted me last night saying that he was going out, so I just took it as it is and tried different things.
Yeah, I texted him at like 11:30 at night.
I didn't even have my igniter charged up, and so we were using one igniter all day long between 3 pilots. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we had fun. We had a really good time. There was no crashes, and it was pretty much stunt heaven. You know,
actually,
fair winds, and it was nice, beautiful day.
Well, you can't say there's no crashes. I didn't pull out quick enough, and I was coming down, and I didn't snap it up quick enough, and I broke a prop. But other than that, it was a good day. Weather was perfect, no wind, maybe just a tiny little breeze, and it wasn't really hot, and it was great.
Yeah. And if you're listening, Richard Morton, you did good too, flying the trainer. I have a trainer that's pretty
Tell
easy
me
to
about
fly,
it.
and I was helping this guy Richard fly a control line for the first time. I had my hands on the bar, and then he had his hands inside the handle. And I'm right-handed, but I was flying the plane left-handed, so he could use his right hand, and it worked out really good. And he pretty much toward the end, I was barely adding any help or aid to him. He really was flying, but my hand was there. So
Gary, wake up.
Hey, Gary.
I'm here.
All right.
Somebody was asking a question about the Novanta, but I don't remember what it was.
Oh, you answered it. I asked you what was
did
the
I?
fuselage,
Okay.
fuselage made
what
out
was
of.
that's what it was. It was what the fuselage.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I had asked that just about the time you went off.
Oh, I know what it was, Dennis. You
Yeah, and
asked
then Charles
which
came
one. You asked which airplane, whether it was fiberglass fuselage.
Yeah.
The airplane that was fiberglass fuselage was Miss Ashley.
What? The which again?
Miss Ashley. Miss Ashley was the full fiberglass
okay.
airplane. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I thought he had one there someplace.
Yeah, that's
frankly,
the one.
I thought they were all at a certain point. I thought they all were, but. Did the Tribute have the fiberglass wing with a wood fuselage then, or was it all wood again?
Yeah. No, it was fiberglass wing, wood fuselage.
Okay.
See, Dave Midgley made the wings for most of them from, I think it was Miss Ashley onward.
Mm-hmm.
That's when they started experimenting with those fiberglass wings. Dave Midgley was making the wings, and they were, him and Wendy were both using them. So the basically the Miss Ashley, the Testarossa, the Novanta, and the Tribute all had the same wing. It was the same wing, pretty much exactly, with small modifications to them as they went along.
All right.
Okay.
So, I don't know. Anybody heard from Walter? I was hoping he would join us tonight.
I haven't seen him.
No, I haven't seen him either.
Well, it's 11:30. I would like to show off some stuff that he's working on with a buddy of mine. So
great!
See if I can
awesome!
Get,
Go for it.
Let's see. There's that. And let's go share screen. Okay. My good buddy Larry Fruits from Plymouth, Indiana, about an hour and a half west of here, is working on.
Is that a tutor?
No, it is. All right, terrific. The last picture in the line.
Laser.
Yep.
Laser?
That's it. Larry designed it. It is actually roughly the same size as the Tudors. Larry's been flying a Tudor with a Brian Gardner Tiger 51 on it, and he's been flying it for about 10 years, and it's got like literally, hundreds of thousands of flights by now. And he liked the setup and everything like that. So he's got roughly the same size airplane with a much prettier layout than the Tudor. So
cool.
He always liked the was it Gid Atkinson, the Showtime laser from several years ago, which, as I understand, was a really big airplane, and he'd want to go that big. But
can you click on those images, Denny, so we can see them big screen?
Okay, wait a minute. I think I may have to redo this. I think I made that mistake again. So let me try again.
I did that. Pad files on that Gid Atkinson's, and that is a big airplane. Neat looking though.
The full scale laser.
Oh, that is nice better. Ooh, nice looking.
I guess it's a not quite scale color. It's a scale color scheme, but he moved the colors around. The original was, I guess, yellow, or no, excuse me, blue with yellow checks and stuff like that, or yellow stars. And
cool.
And this is yellow. It's actually Cub yellow. I think it's a little brighter color than what it looks. And the stars are black, not blue. But you see, he did a real nice job with things like the wires on the tail and stuff like that.
Let's make this name. Here's your flying wires too.
Very sharp.
Yeah, well, they're carbon rods with some fittings on the end and stuff. And he got rid of that old problem with wiggly tails on profile fuselages. That's for sure. So they're anchored on the bottom. Everything's anchored together. So.
Very nice.
But the really cool thing, thanks Walter part, comes from the fact that Walter Umland did all of the CAD work for him and cut all the laser parts for him, which means, not too big a stretch here, it looks like there's going to be an opportunity here to buy a kit, to get have Walter cutting kits for this thing. And I think that's going to be really exciting. This is, as profiles go, this thing really, really stands out to me. I mean, thing's got a lot of personality on it.
It's really a good looking plane, and the flying wires are pretty interesting too. And you said it gets rid of all the twists, huh?
I'm sorry?
It gets rid of the twisting of the fuselage?
Well, I'm sure it does. It would be as stiff as the fuselage is, and the fuselage is, of course, built up. I think it was half-inch with plywood skins, and worked out really well for him. And he says it's a real board, and with the tail on there, with the wires on it and stuff like that, all that goodness should translate right into the tail and everything. But there's not a lot of big profiles out there. By big, I mean something size for a 51 and stuff like that. And this sounds like it's would be a pretty good combination that way.
You know what the wingspan is by chance?
I'm not sure of all of the sizes and everything like that. Now, what I did do is I posted. Larry has trouble posting pictures, so he asked me to post the pictures, and I started a thread for posted pictures, and that's in the open forum on Stunthangar. So keep an eye on that. Post your comments, and Larry is going to be adding in all of the other particulars. So. He come close to being able to test fly today, but was done in by some rogue wind. It's actually, in this case, it wasn't so much that it was windy as it was coming out of the one direction that he cannot tolerate on his flying field. So he figured, he's been working on this thing for a long time. Figured just waiting one more day wasn't going to hurt anything. So,
yeah, it's very nice. I like the color of the canopy.
Yeah, everything about it.
Always
stands out. I don't know. I think he did a fantastic job with it.
We have a little bit of a loop. I don't know if anybody has an extra tab open or if it's our internet connection, but I know my connection tonight's not very good myself.
Yeah, they're all either yellow or a ghost on me.
Yeah. Brent Williams says, "Happy Memorial Day, guys." And Philip Bailey says, "Miss Ashley was carbon fiber fuselage. At least some of them did. Mine did." But I think Lynn's talking about the original Miss Ashley that Wendy Onowski built.
Yeah, it was carbon fiber. You could do a wood one. Like I have the plans for the wooden one. Very cool airplane.
Yeah, very cool. I really like that plane. That's good looking. That plane is called a Laser by Walter Umlin.
Yeah. Yeah, it was actually Larry Fruits actually designed it with lots of help from Walter. Walter put it into CAD for him, and then also, of course, set it up the laser file. So it's Walter cut the kit, and but it was Larry's inspiration, his design effort. So
very neat,
very nice,
very nice looking. I mean, it's like it makes you want it. It's like you see it and you want it. That's kind of what I'm dealing with right now. I want that plane.
Well, it was kind of funny. I use that context. I used to work at Ford in the design center, or the styling, if you will.
Okay.
And one of the last big cars I did for them was the original Ford Taurus, which at the time was a really scary aerodynamic shape and everything like that.
Yes.
And they had a station wagon in the lineup, and the station wagon was probably the most exciting looking car of the lineup. And I remember the designer talking about that, saying instead of just putting a big old square back on the car like all the station wagons was, they put that big, billowy thing on it. And actually, the one that made it to market was the compromise design. The original design looked like a freaking Porsche or something like that. It was insane.
Wow.
But one of the things that they put up on one of the design goals for the car was they wanted to make, people bought station wagons because they needed it. I need a station wagon. I got the family. I need a station wagon. And one of the goals they had for the Taurus wagon was instead of an I need it, they wanted to make it an I want it. I want to make this car as exciting enough. Yeah, I got to get a station wagon, but damn, that's a nice station wagon. That's an exciting car. And
I agree.
So coming, that's the context I'm coming from when I said, when you look at that laser, it's a profile. Everybody's got a profile, a knock around, a beater, they're durable, they're easy to build. You got one there, stuffed in the back corner of the basement there, and it's a durable, functional, serviceable airplane. But this is something like you build it and say, hey, I'm going to keep this one nice.
Yeah, that one definitely is a looker, no doubt about it.
Yeah, but it'll be a nice, you hear more and more about people looking for airplanes they could fly in 2 or 3 events. Well, you could certainly fly that in profile and walk it right over to the Pampa circles and be perfectly at home with it. So,
wow. Hey, Philip Bailey, he wants to know what motor is in that laser.
Say Brian Gardner Tiger 51.
There we go.
Yeah, Larry's got about a half dozen of those things, and they run like watches. Those are incredible engines. So
yeah, they're very powerful.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike. I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead, Mike. You want to say something?
Well, we were talking about Walter. I just wanted to ask Len real quick. Are you having Walter ship your kit here, or did you?
Yeah. I figured you got enough stuff to try and hang on to, so I told him just to ship it here. It was an extra $20 or something.
Oh, okay. I just wondered because mine got here. Mine got here last week, and there was only 2.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen mine yet, but hopefully it'll get here soon. It's got to clear customs and everything.
Okay.
So hopefully it'll be fine. I should have told you, and I forgot. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It wasn't a big deal, then. I got.
But I just thought, you know what? You got enough stuff to hang on to there. You don't need Mike crap cluttering up your whole house.
It's one
enough
kit,
you're having to,
and it's
Yeah, I
not
know.
a big deal.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
Yep.
Just questions out there. Have you heard anything? Is there any sign of when they might be opening up the border?
Haven't heard a thing. All I know is that there's a lot of people getting very frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
Both on your side and our side.
I saw a news blurb the other day that they thought maybe within 60 days.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we can hope. Unfortunately, the Nats will be over.
Well, I heard they were shooting for June 1st.
That's not happening. That's a zero. No way.
Tomorrow, so I don't.
That's not happening.
Yeah.
I mean July 1st. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, that's a possibility. That's more possible.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I don't know, Mike.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Mike grew up in Detroit like I did and everything like that. And then it's like we were so close to Windsor, Canada. I mean, we were, on top of it. This is going to sound strange. I never thought of Canada as a foreign country. All right.
Yeah.
No, me neither.
Yeah, it was Canada. It was like, oh yeah, it's those guys on the other side of the river. Yeah.
Well, what was great about Canada was we could drink over there when we were 19.
The thought occurs. Yes.
Of course.
Plus, you can go south out of Detroit and get to Canada, which makes you easy.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're in downtown Detroit, when you go dead south, the first country you hit is Canada. So
that's right.
It's okay. All I think about when I think about America is all kinds of great model airplane shit.
Well, what used to be great. I worked at Joe's Hobby there in Detroit, and on weekends we'd have folks come over the border and everything like that, and they buy up everything, and then they go. I put it all in the bag and give them the receipt and everything like that. They say, hey, let me have that receipt. They take it and they'd like rip it up and throw it away or something like that. And then they took this stuff out of the bags and they just kind of stuffed it in different cubbies in their car and stuff like that.
Oh God.
Yeah. And
That's
it was
not so good.
It took me a while to understand what they were doing there, but to appreciate what they were doing.
Duty.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time we went to a contest in Canada, we take orders and then bring everything in, not in boxes or with instructions or whatever. The instructions went in one car, and the other stuff went in a different car and stuff. And yeah, we'd bring it in because the duty was so high on motors and everything else, But
Now I know why that Umlin kit cost me 289 Canadian.
Hey, all I know is that we took the kids to Boblo Island in Detroit. All right, and I got some Canadian cash. The entry was the same whether you had U.S. or Canadian. I used Canadian because I got in for like I think it was that time 85 cents on the dollar or something.
There
like
you
that.
go.
And
Perfect.
I've always been a cheapskate, so that was the kind of thing that would appeal to me. I got some Canadian money and went to Boblo Island, So yeah, Boblo Island was like a theme park on an island in the middle of the Detroit River between Canada and Detroit. I think it was actually Canadian Island, Canadian nationality island, but obviously it appealed to both sides of the river. And so it was a fun place. So
when I first started, go ahead.
Many
Go ahead,
times.
Uh-huh.
I went to Boblo a ton. My grandparents used to put us on to St. Clair, because they had these big double-decker steamboats you would ride from downtown Detroit. So that was part of the fun, was you'd ride the steamboat down there. And then when we were adults, the Boblo boats became booze cruises. They were they had rock bands on them, and they were booze cruise. And just recently, I've got a friend. He's the captain of the mail boat on the Detroit River, and he also, during the winter, he does private yachts and stuff. He's all into boats. He's a captain of, he's got his whatever commercial captain's license, but he's also in these preservation organizations. And they moved the St. Clair down to Maumee to restore it, and it caught fire last year and burned it all the way down to the keel.
Yeah.
So they lost St. Clair.
Wow.
Which, Boblo's been around since the 30s, I think. It was there forever. Steve, did you ever go to Boblo? Or it's like Cedar Point. It's like Cedar Point, but it's on an island in the middle of the river.
yeah, we always wanted to go, but we never went as kids because vacation time we always went to Florida because that's where my dad's mom still lived and all of his brothers and sisters. So yeah, every time we went on a vacation, it was to Florida, so he could see his mom and stuff. So yeah, we never did much in Michigan.
Yeah.
Do you not have hobby shops over there, Len?
Not very many left now.
No,
we have them, but there's not very many. And what there is, they don't have much.
Yeah.
Well, back in the day, they had them, but you had to pay. You had to pay that damn VAT tax or whatever it was on
sales tax.
It was a sales tax, man. It was a big amount of money.
It still is 13%.
No.
Oh, okay.
See, we have two taxes. There's a provincial sales tax and another sales tax. And when you add the two of them together, it's 13%. You pay a huge chunk every time you buy something.
Oh, okay.
Just kicks us. We just get killed. Like that Umlin kit that I bought, it ends up being $289 American plus the shipping. It'll be well over $300 for that twister.
Oh, Len, you should have you should have let me buy it.
You know what? It's still $289. But I mean, the shipping will probably be, I don't know, $20 or something, or $22 or something.
Yeah.
So it's no big deal. It's just, it is what it is. It's not cheap for us. That's all.
$289. They were $185.
Keep in mind, that's not American. That's Canadian.
I'm sorry.
So it's not that bad. Right.
Yeah.
The number just seems high, you see.
Yeah.
When I first started going to Brodax, our money was worth more than your money. I should have bought one of every kit, every motor, and every part piece. And when I had the chance, I'm kicking myself now. I should have really, really loaded up, and I didn't. I'm still booting myself over that.
Hindsight's 2020.
Yeah, always.
All right, Charles, I'm ready to do a slot machine demonstration here. If anybody,
all right, make it big here, Mike.
Absolutely.
Hopefully this goes better than the knot tying exercise.
Yep.
Am I big?
You big,
The
man.
pressure's on. The pressure's on, baby.
You the
I
big
don't see me big. Let me,
papa.
hold on. There
Oh,
we
Are you
go.
nervous?
Control that?
Are you nervous yet?
Now, I'm not nervous in the service, man. All right, so you got the
No, I
little
can't-
guide, and you
I
set
can't even
that
see
up
it.
the depth you want. I've got my
Oh man.
my mark on the flap, and we slapped that little guy on there. There's a couple of notches on the guide, so you line those up with your hinge marks. Okay, so that's going to center my slot where I want it.
Can everybody else
Okay.
see it? I can't see you, Mike.
Everybody
Yeah,
see me?
I see you.
I see
Okay.
it.
Click on him.
I guess you're bummed. So then you got to hold this real tight. I mean, they give you a nice big piece of real estate to put 2 fingers on, and you got it hard up against the edge and then flat here. So you get everything straight. There's the tool. You get it started by putting it in the slot. See if we can do this so you can see. I don't want to screw it up either. Okay, so I'm in the guide.
All right.
And then I'm gonna eyeball from the side to make sure that I'm going in straight. Okay.
Yeah.
And you just hit it and push in. So it bottoms out, and then you just go a little bit left and right. Pull it out. Bob's your uncle.
Isn't
Nice.
that sweet?
Nice
Nice.
centered slot.
You know
And
what?
then
I have
there's
one of
very-
them slot cutters like that I bought at a RC swap meet, but it didn't come with the little red thing you had. That son of a bitch is hard as hell to use.
Oh
So
yeah,
you're gonna
I
have
would
to make
imagine.
something.
Yeah, that's all I
Here's
got was just that, and I tried to use it. And I'm like, screw this! That damn thing, it was
Let's see
walking
what-
all over the place. And
Let's
I
see
know
what
it,
happens here. Here's a scrap piece of balsa. Let's see if I can do a slot with it.
it's tough.
Oh yeah, that's hard, man.
Actually, I don't have
Hey.
the guide for mine, and I can do that. But I use the other little tool that Great Plains makes. It's the one that's got a little nub on it, and I drag that along that, and it puts a line right on the center of the flap, and you use that as the guide. And yeah, I've been cutting freehand slots with the slot machine. I will go looking for one of those guides, though. That definitely looks like a better.
Yeah,
I got an idea.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I
get
just
that
had
too. That would make it a lot easier. But I thought
For sure.
what a bad idea that is. I can't make a damn slot
Okay.
to save my ass.
So just make a guide out of 3 pieces of 1/8 plywood, glue it together, and make one that's 1/4 inch thick, make one that's 3/8 thick, and maybe one that's 3/16, and then it'll work.
Yeah, they're nice and straight. I mean,
I think that's a great idea, Mike.
Yeah, very
I
good.
like
Mike. Thank you.
all right, I'm gonna turn my mic off because I'm going to town with my slot machine.
All right.
Have your brother 3D print one.
I'll be right
There you
back.
go. Yeah, and this is Sam's BOM model, but I think cutting slots with a power tool is probably beyond a 12-year-old's ability. So I'm doing this part for him. I don't think anyone would begrudge us that.
I don't think so. They
Nah.
shouldn't.
Yeah, what the heck? That's a piece of prefab that happens in a lot of kits.
Exactly, just like a kit.
Hey, nobody ever complained when Dave Midgley made Wendy's wings.
Mhm.
Well, the rule is as long as you make either the wing or the fuselage.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Or in full-size aircraft, there's a 51% rule. You have to build 51% of the airplane.
Yeah, exactly. And how do you calculate that? Good luck. Oh, gee, you only made 49% of it.
A lot of photos.
You still can't figure it out exactly to 51%. It's not
is it by
possible.
part count, by area, by
Yeah, exactly. By
Yeah.
nut, bolt, or by rivet.
Most it's more like 70% or something. So it's not even close. So it doesn't
Well,
really
hey,
matter.
here's a question. Here's one for you. Say somebody makes, say I make all the fuselages for my airplanes, and my buddy across town makes all the wings. Does that mean we can both claim to be builder of the model for all the airplanes?
Yep.
I think it does.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yep. Exactly what it does.
So,
Yeah, if you assemble it and put the bell crank in it and paint it and finish it, you got to assemble it. Yeah.
Because you figure, you look at Windy's airplanes like the Spitfire. Joe Adamusco was making Spitfire wings. Windy was making Spitfire fuselages and tail sections.
Yeah, I'd heard that before, and of course they had a couple of differences. Windy was building Spitfires, and Joe was building Seafires, and whatever else. But there were differences like that. But both of those guys are, both of those guys are artists. The airplanes were phenomenal.
Yes, they were, for sure.
Of the lineup,
I don't begrudge them.
I really like Joe's Seafire. My God, what a beautiful airplane!
Outstanding airplane.
Yeah, it was. It was a pretty airplane, no doubt about it.
Yeah. And
even his 96. Go ahead, Dennis. Sorry.
I was just going to say, it's kind of a shame I say that I like Joe's, but you look at Windy Spitfire, the silver Spitfire, and it was perfect.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, but it's just the Seafire had more. There was more eye candy there. The shapes and the colors and all that. But
yeah.
What about the elliptical wings too?
Yeah.
I was talking about the advantage of the elliptical wings.
Mm-hmm.
That must have been an advantage too, flying those planes.
I don't know. I've only had a couple of. One of the best windy weather airplanes I've ever flown is a Sterling Spitfire, if you can believe that.
Wow.
And it's got a very thin wing, and it's got, because of the shape of the wingtips are very narrow. And I think that help make it steady in the wind, because there wasn't a lot of area out at the tips, and it was less likely to get wobbling around and stuff like that, and in turbulence and stuff. It seemed to be to cut through it better.
The thin wings seem to cut the wind better. I don't know why.
One day I remember we were flying over at Bob McDonald's field over at the Signal Seekers in the control line area. They used to have literally pushed into a corner with trees around them and stuff like that. And the wind was coming up the one day, and it was real turbulent. And we had we had a Vector 40 out, and I had my Spitfire out, and we put the Vector back in the car, and I kept flying the Spitfire, because it was handling the conditions that the Vector, more modern airplane, wasn't happy.
Didn't like it.
So, yeah.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's the more we go forward, the more we realize how good it used to be too. So,
hey, try it. Those are the easiest slots I've ever cut in my life.
The fastest too.
Yeah, that was pretty quick.
Look how fast! Boom, done.
Very good.
And they're
awesome.
They're the straightest ones I've ever cut. I can tell you that, man. I've had some boy.
Yeah.
I hate cutting slots, man.
And that makes it, much more freer too. If you get them all straight, the control surfaces are much freed up. They're really easy and loosey-goosey. Well, you guys, I'm going to start to end the stream. We have 20 likes. We've had as many as 19 viewers, and we've had some conversations in the chat box, and good questions and good comments. I'm really happy with the show. I mean, Memorial Day, a holiday, one of the first holidays some people feel they've had in over a year. So I think this is a tremendous. I appreciate everybody coming in. Thank you very much. This definitely wasn't a dud, and I didn't know what to expect. So I'm pleasantly surprised that you guys came in and were here. Appreciate it very much. Now, if you're watching this as a replay, don't forget to do this every Monday and Friday, live at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and that's the time when you can actually come into the chat, providing you are a registered YouTube member. And also, we have the super chat available where you can donate. So make a note of that every Monday and Friday, 6:45, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, to come in so you can make a donation, support the show, and I hope you want to do that. And with that being said, happy Memorial Day, and thank God for these fallen soldiers and service people who have paid the ultimate price for us to enjoy the freedoms that we have, and that's what this day is all about, right? So thank you very much, and we'll be back Friday at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Go out there and have some fun and do something in your shop. Come back, do a show and tell us all about it, and we will see you then. But until then, as Sparky would say, he usually says fair winds and tight lines, right? So I'm going to open up the lobby so you guys can come and go as you like. And until then, fair winds, tight lines, and